Hey folks, welcome to session 5 of Flutter 101 Bootcamp. In this session, seeing how we can work with the theme data and change the theme of our dynamic switching of the themes, working with the device orientation, and at last we'll also be working on a background changer application. And also we'll also be seeing how we can use the custom fonts inside our Flutter application. So let's get to this session. So the first thing which I'm doing here is I'm changing the commented part of the fonts inside the pubspec.yaml file, and after that I have created a folder named assets inside this root directory of our project. And inside the assets folder I have added a fonts directory, and inside that I have stored my two different fonts, which is railway regular and railway italics. Now I have changed the font family to railway, as this is the font which we are going to use inside this Flutter app. Now next thing which we need to do is we need to change the link for the assets. So I'll assign the link or the relative path for these assets. So I'll quickly edit this font, the default thing which is given, and I'll relocate it to asset slash font slash regular railway regular.ttf, and for the italics part I'll add assets slash font slash railway dash italics.ttf. So this will be of type italics. So now I'll run flutter pub get, so that this packages, or what we can say, this fonts are being loaded inside our application. By default the pub get command is run automatically, but I am running it again for the safety purpose. Now inside the text widget which is present inside our raise button, I'll add a style to it, and I'll assign a font family to it. So the font family will be of type railway, as we have assigned railway inside that. Now saving and hot reloading it and seeing if it works fine. So you can see that it is saying italics is not fine. So I guess there is a typo. So let me copy the relative path for the railway dash italics file, and I'll copy it, and then I'll replace it inside the pubspec.yaml file. So I'll change the slashes to backslash, and after this I'll save it and run the flutterpub command again. So once the command is completed or executed successfully, we'll hit back to the main.dart file and save it. So after the hot reload will take place, I guess we'll be able to see the font in working. So inside the button, the text will be changed to the new font. So you can see that the font change has taken place, and now the font is appearing of the type railway. So this is how you can add a custom font inside your Flutter application. So we can also import various different fonts, like whatever font we want to add. So what you can do is you can directly go on Google and download your favorite font, or the font which you want to use inside our Flutter application, and then you can add it inside the assets folder like I have added, and then you can assign a font family, and then you can use the font inside your application. So now for seeing the orientation or changing the orientation of the app, it will be depending on the system orientation. So first thing which I'll do is I'll remove the what we can say, the old code which is present, and the thing which I'll be doing is I'll add a list view to it. So inside the list view, what thing will be taking place is that the list item or the count of item which are present inside the cross axis count of items. So the items will be appearing, or the count will be setting to 2 if we are seeing the screen or seeing the app in the portrait mode, but the count will be changing to 3 if we are seeing the mobile or the orientation of the application is landscape. So let's see how we can implement it. And now in place of this builder I am using an orientation builder. Inside this orientation builder, I'll be passing another builder which will be taking the context, and along with the context we'll also be passing the orientation. So this is the thing or boolean which will be changing the orientation of our application. Now let's see what widget will be returned from this. So I'll add a return statement here, and inside the return statement I have added a grid view, and grid view will be having a count, so we'll pass the cross axis count to it. And this cross axis count will be depending on the orientation which we have passed inside the brackets. So it will be checking if the orientation is equals to orientation dot portrait, then it will be taking the cross axis count as 2, else the count will be 3, and clearing the typo. Now after this we'll be displaying some children inside it, so I'll add a children list of widgets. So it will be generating a list of item inside it, so we'll add a list dot generate inside it, and inside this we'll be passing 100 as we want to display a total of 100 items, and we'll pass the index of each of these items and we'll return a particular widget out of it. So the widget will be having a top level widget as the center, and inside center we'll be having text. So the text will be having the index and the name or a particular string which we want to display. So as I have told you in one of the previous sessions that if we want to pass a variable inside a text widget, so we add a dollar before it. I'll also add some style to it, which will be basically the font size. So I'll set the font size to 16. So it is showing an error like the element of type list cannot be assigned to this. So I guess I need to remove this brackets, the top level brackets which the children is having. So I'll remove the brackets and add a semicolon wherever it is required. Now the reformatting has taken place. So now you can see that it is as the orientation is set to portrait, it is displaying two widgets or the count of elements on the cross axis is 2. So now what I'll be doing is I'll change the orientation of this widget or this emulator by clicking the rotate icon which is present on the side window. So you can see that the orientation has been changed to landscape, but it is not changing the orientation of our application. So what I'll do is I'll turn on the auto rotate option, so it will be rotating our app or rotating the screen of our app automatically when the portrait mode has been converted to landscape inside the mobile application. So you can see that now the grid view is displaying 3 items inside it rather than the basic 2 item structure which was there previously. So whenever you want to change the orientation of the app or you want to change the orientation of a particular widget inside the app, you can use orientation builder. So there is one more way to change the orientation, but this is the one which is mostly used and is suggested by the Flutter docs as well. So now let's move to the next thing. So now we'll be looking at how we can work with the theme and theme data inside our Flutter application. So firstly, I'll change the orientation of this application back to, so I'll change the orientation back to portrait, and you can see that the items will be displaying 2 only again. So now we'll be seeing how we can add a theme inside our application. So it is generally added inside the material app part of our application. So inside this material app we have a theme option. So if we want our app to have a particular theme, then we can pass a theme inside it. So material app has various different options except this theme as well. So if we want to pass some routes to it, so routes are basically, you can see, you can say the locations for a particular screen. Like in a web page we have slash a home page slash contact us page, so you can pass various routes to it. Apart from that, we can also specify the initial route here, and other things which are which we generally use are the title. We can add the theme or theme to be dark, or we can add like high contrast theme or high contrast dark theme. We can set the theme mode to be like equals to the system theme mode. So most of you have seen inside your mobile phones, like when you have your dark theme enabled inside your system, then different apps try to adapt to that theme and enable that theme by themselves only. We have also an option to add various different languages, so if possible we will be seeing that in further sessions. So these are the topmost thing which we generally use. So now let's add a theme as we started. So I'll add a theme data here, and inside this theme data we have various different options which we can pass. So the first one is then accent color, and according to that we can specify the brightness of it. We can also pass the canvas color. So the canvas color will be the color for the canvas which we will be having inside our application. We can set the primary source color. So any of the app which you see inside Flutter, so this top color or the blue color which is appearing, so if you won't be passing any color inside it, so it will be taking this primary source color to be blue, and the default color for other things will be set to white. So if you want to change this, so you can specify the primary color or primary source color to be equals to something else. So I'll add colors dot red, and after a hot reload, let's see what thing takes place. So you can see that as I have specified the primary source color, so it has changed the color to red. Let's see what all other things we can also specify. So if we want to use a particular font family inside our application, so we can specify that also. And if we are having some hints or we are providing user with some hints, so we can specify a color for those hints. Like whatever hints we will be using inside it, we can specify a particular item theme. If we are using some icon packs or like paid icon packs or free icon packs, so we can specify a theme for them as well. If we are using cards, so we can use card themes inside our application. Similarly, there are various different colors and various different things which are available. So like for bottom app bar, you can specify a particular color. For highlighting, you can specify a particular color. So if you don't want to add some particular colors for particular objects or items inside the application, so you can directly add them here only, and then you won't be needing to add all these things like inside the application or like at every place. So basically these are generally used when you want to use a particular theme inside your application, like dark white theme or like red blue color scheme. So you can generally prefer all these things. So this was it for the theme or theme data part. So you can try and explore these things and make various different things out of it, and try to generate different apps using different themes, and make sure to share the apps which you are making on our Discord, so that people can take inspiration for you, and they can also start working on various different projects or various different things implementing your ideas as well. Now let's see how we can create a background changing app inside our Flutter application. So now we'll be seeing how we can make a background changing application inside Flutter. So the first thing which I'll be doing is I'll remove the orientation build side, which is present inside our application. So as we are going to change the background changing or the background color changing app, so what we need to do is, so what we can do is we can either delete all this code, as we will be dynamically changing the thing. So we need to make this widget as stateful. So what we can do is we can either remove all the code, or we can directly click on stateful, and then there will be a bulb icon, and then we can click on it, and it will be providing us an option to convert this app to stateful widget. So I'll be deleting the code which is not useful or which was useful for some of the previous apps. So now I'll provide a list of colors which will be basically displayed inside our application, or this list of colors will be used to display various different colors inside our this application. So I'll quickly add all the different colors which we'll be using inside this application. So we are now having an error for the body, but now we need to assign some more variables. So there are two variables which we'll be assigning. So what our app will be doing is, when we'll be clicking on the button, the background color will be changing, but there will be a particular color which will be appearing when the application is loading or when the application is starting for the first time. So we are assigning a variable named current colors with the color value of color.white. So this will be displayed, or this will be the color which will be provided to the things when the app is loading. So we are also assigning another variable named as current button color. So it will be assigned as colors.black. So now we can change the color of the background or for the color of the button in two different ways. So the first one will be changing the color by the click of a button, and the next one will be changing the color by the help of a timer. So I have added a timer here, and I am having an underscore before the timer because I want to assign this timer as a private variable for this particular class. And I have also assigned another integer variable with the name underscore star and start, and it is set to 10. So now we are having this as we will be having various different colors, or the length of the colors list will be equal to 10, and with the help of this particular start value we'll be accessing the different values or different colors from our color list, and we'll be assigning those colors to the background. So for changing the color of the screen, I have added a start timer function. So the first thing which I have added here is a constant of onSec. So it will be a constant and it will be having a duration of second one. So basically after each second, the timer variable will be updated with a new value. So we'll be changing the time, or we'll be changing the value of start after each second. For now, for the duration, I have passed onSec. So I want to change the time after each second. And now I have added a timer. So after onSec second, that is 1 second, this timer should change. And I have added a set state here. So I want to update the state or update the value of the underscore start variable. So I'll add set state here directly. Now inside the set state, I'll be checking if the value of start is less than 1. So I'll be assigning the value of underscore start as equals to 10. And then I'll add a recursive call to this start timer button. So it will be setting the value of start and it will be calling this function again. Other thing, or the other else condition which I'll be assigning to it, is that it will be directly if the condition of the if is falsing, or like turning to false. So it will be running that else condition and it will be decreasing the value of underscore start variable by 1. And then it will be calling the another function. So that function will be getting a particular color value from the list. For now I am adding a container inside the body so that the error goes out. Now after the reformatting of the code, I'll quickly assign the else condition as well. Now what we'll be doing is we'll be creating some more variables. So the first one will be an index variable, and we'll also be having a color variable. So the color right now, so it will be named as color right now, and I'll add a semicolon now. Now let's work on this change color function. So it will take an int of name start, and after this we can set the state of this what we can say the current color to be equals to. So the current color will be having the value from the colors list, and the item will be equal to underscore start. So inside this container, I'll pass a color to it. So the color will be equal to current color. So the value of this current color will be changing inside the functions which we have specified above. After this, we are assigning a child inside this container, which will be of a type column. And after this, inside this column, I'll be passing a main axis alignment as center. So all the widgets which will be appearing inside it will be having the main axis alignment set to center. Now I'll add some children to that column. So the first thing which I'll be adding is a row. Inside this row we'll be having a children widget. So it will be having all the children's. So the thing which we'll be adding inside it is the so inside this we'll be having a raise button. So before having the child, I'll add a main axis alignment to it. So it will be setting the main axis alignment to center, and inside this widget I'll quickly add a raise button to it. Inside the raise button I have passed the color to be set to color.current button color. So it will be providing the color of this raise button to the color which we have specified above. Next thing which I'll add here is a child. So child will be of a type text, and it will say that change me. So whenever you will be clicking on the color, the changing of the colors will be taking place. I'll add some padding to it. So the padding will be of type from top, right, left, bottom. So I'll assign the value of top and bottom to 40 and right and left to 20. And I'll remove the pre-coded thing which is available when I clicked on enter. So after this, the next thing which I'll add inside this raise button is a on press. So I'll call a change color function inside it, change background color function inside it. So sorry for the typo. The next thing which I'll pass here is a shape. So it will be having a rounded rectangle border inside this. And inside this I'll pass a circular to it. The border radius should be set to circular, and I'll assign a value to it. So I haven't coded the change background function yet, but we'll be doing that in a while. Now adding some commas to like get the typo correct or the formatting code correct. So after this row we'll be adding another row, but before that I'll add a size box to it so that some height is provided below this row widget which we have above. And inside this row widget I'll add the children, or what I can do is I can delete this and copy the row from above, and we'll change some things which are available inside that particular row. So let me just see if I can do that. So I have copied the raise button part and pasted it inside the row children. I'll change the text of the button which said change me to auto change. So on the click of this button it will be changing the colors automatically. And I'll also change the on press function. So the on press function will be changed to start timer. I'll copy this change background function and start working on this particular function. So I'll add a void to it. Inside it I'll be having a random value. So the random value will be stored inside this integer variable, and we'll be having random here, and then we'll be having next int, and inside that we'll be passing the length of the colors list which we are having above. So for the random to work, I'll add dart.math inside it. Like a bit later I'll be adding it. For now I'm assigning another integer variable inside it. So now adding the dart.math class here. Now next thing which I'll be doing is I'll be setting the state of some variables which we have defined above. So I'll be changing the current color variable, and it will be equal to the item which we'll be selecting through the integer variable which we have generated above. So we'll get the item from that colors list and assign it to current color. And we'll also change the like value of the current button color, and we'll assign it to colors. Sorry, so we'll be assigning that variable to color and random button color generator. So it will be getting the values from there and then assigning the variables. Now let me fix the typo. So I've removed the typo error which was there, and now after a hot reload the things are working fine, but I have an error here that the colors cannot be assigned to a different type. So after hot restart, let's see if it works or not. So after a hot restart, we can see that the buttons have displayed here. So I'll change the color of the text which is present inside the button by adding some styles to it. After a hot restart, still it is showing some error. So this error is displaying when we are clicking on the button. So this is generally happening, or this is happening because we don't have much items inside the list. So I need to add some more items inside the colors list, and I'll also remove the accent colors or the material colors which are here or present inside this list. So it will be only supporting the colors and won't be supporting the material colors. So I'll quickly add some more and remove the ones which are not supported here. So now the hot restart has been completed after I have added various different colors to the list. Now when I'll click on the change me button, it will be changing the color of the buttons and of the background screen as well. As I click on the button, the colors will be changing. And when I'll click on the second button, which is automatic change, so for now it has displayed me some error or exception. So I'll see, it is saying that the list items is not present, the value which was generated is not present, or the list is not having that many values. So I'll add one more item inside the list. So I have added it, and I'll quickly hot restart it again or hot reload it, so that the things can work again. Now after a quick hot restart, So it is taking a bit long. So yeah, the hot restart has completed. And now we can see that when we'll be clicking on the auto change app, it will be changing the colors all by itself. So it will be changing various different available colors which are present inside the colors list. So now you guys have an assignment for this session. So you have to work on this app, like the color changing app, and then you have to add various different features, like make a disco color app out of it, or make a flashlight front flashlight app out of it by displaying a white screen, or according to yourself. So this is basically your assignment. And also, if you guys have any doubts, then you can ask your doubts on Discord. So I'll be available there for a while to answer all your doubts related to this session. So that was it for this session.